As Shiva's inherent power, Shakti is known to have two aspects: power of knowledge, Jnana Shakti, and the power of action or kriya Shakti. These two powers are not separate or incompatible. They are complementary aspects of Shiva's infinite power. An important aspect of Kashmir Shaivism is that it does not accept any dichotomy between jnana or knowledge and kriya or action. It recognizes both as aspects of Shiva's inherent power Shakti. What this implies is that Shiva's absolute consciousness is both the knower and the doer. He is the supreme subject and knows that he knows. And this knowing is an act which he constantly performs as his powers of will, knowledge and action are one. The unity of the knower or the subject of knowledge, pramatri, knowing or the means of knowledge, pramana, and the known or the object of knowledge, prameya, all being held together by pramiti or the basis of knowledge. Awareness or knowledge, jnana, is the very nature of Shiva, for Shiva is the I consciousness of all. There is nothing that is separate from Shiva, the universe being but his self-manifestation or extension, prasara. Shiva is the absolute power, is thus independent as well as sovereign, and the only reality. His self-awareness of his own self is his very first activity. Besides power to know and power to act, there is a third aspect of power that Shakti possesses, Ichha Shakti, or the power to will. In fact, there are two more denominations of Shakti in the Tantric tradition: Chitta Shakti, or the power of consciousness, and Ananda Shakti, or the power of bliss, taking the total to 5. These 5 are actually different names of Shakti given to her for the different roles she plays. Being Shiva's creative and active aspect, Shakti is also known as Swatantra or freedom. Swatantra or free will, which acts without any restriction. Through her, Shiva has the freedom to create anything and everything. She manifests and dissolves and manifests again the world of her own free will. It is for this reason that Kashmir Shaivism is also known as Swatantravad. Shiva's conative creative power is what in Shaiva terminology takes the form of Shakti or the goddess. Swatantra, freedom; Vimarsha, self-awareness; Spanda, vibration; Purnata, fullness, or all her different names. Kashmir Shaivism conceives of reality as Shiva and Shakti united in the oneness of pure consciousness. Simultaneously they open out and evolve in the form of the universe, both mirroring each other as transcendence and immanence. It is here that the individual soul, the third side of the triad, comes into picture. Matter, according to Kashmir Shaivite thought, is a congealed form of universal consciousness, and the human individual is Shiva in a contracted form. The contraction comes about by Shiva's own act of obscuration, Tirodhana, one of the 5 acts that he performs constantly, naturally, and spontaneously. The other acts of his 5-fold functionality, Pancha Mahakritya, are Srishti or creation, Sthiti or preservation, Samhara or dissolution, and Anugraha or grace. Shiva, Kashmir Shaivism posits, is the human individual's essential nature as of all things, but ignorance of this makes him suffer limitation, restricting his freedom of will, knowledge, and action. Forgetting his real nature, he becomes Shiva in amnesia. Still, he is a finite symbol of the infinite, and realization of his true identity can restore his Shivahood to him. Pratyabhijna and Spanda are 2 most important doctrines of contemporary Shaivism, which emerged from the process of systemization of non-dual Shaivism as a philosophy of consciousness. Pratyabhijna, or the theory of self-recognition, reveals to us our identity with Shiva, who, as absolute consciousness, is the ground reality, while Shakti, Shiva's own power of self-reflecting consciousness, is the source of all emanation. The Shakti-oriented Spanda doctrine presents vibrating awareness as the basic stuff of the universe. Consciousness, it says, can manifest as Spanda, the blissfully aware cosmic vibration of the divine, a throb. Consciousness in most expanded state. Experiencing Spanda in its universal aspect is to experience the essential nature, swabhava of reality, which the Shaivite non-dualist describes as a compact mass of consciousness and bliss, Chidananda Ghan. Contrary to the concept of Purusha in the Sankhya philosophy, consciousness is not a passive witness to the activity of Prakriti or objective materiality. Its dynamic activity consists of creating the universe from its own self and then reabsorbing it.